Have you ever felt powerless because you have a need, but you feel there is no way for you to solve it yourself? Oh man, this is a situation that many people come into contact with, but really don't know how to push through. I want to talk to you today about a principle of seed, time, and harvest that will bring breakthrough for your future. So even though you have lack right now, it actually will lead to prosperity in the future if you take and practice what I'm telling you today. So King Solomon noticed something. First of all, they lived in an agricultural age, which means that food, you could not just go to a grocery store and buy some food. You had to actually take seeds, put it in the ground, and wait for the duration of time for that seed to grow into a plant and bear fruit, and then you'd be able to take and have that food, and that would be provided for you. That mindset is actually the correct mindset when approaching money and wealth and provision and even your talents, your gifts. And if you can hear what I'm saying today and you can apply this, I'm telling you, your future actually will be very bright, okay? So much like the sunshine that's blaring down on me today. Okay, so here's the deal. Right now you're in a situation, you have lack. You don't have enough. Maybe your bills are bigger than your income is. So what do? How do you grow your income? Well, in the world, often it requires more skills. Often it requires a greater education. If you want a bigger paycheck, it means that you're going to have invested something. Well, in this moment right now, you need all those hours that you can get, right? You need as much money as you can gain right now. And so it would be, it's tempting to take all of that resource that's coming in from the hours that you're currently spending in a job and take that money and eat it, spend it, right? Because to pay your bills, however, if you can defer some of that need for the future, what you can do is this. See, in every harvest, they would take in grain, but some of that grain had to be kept for seed. Because if they didn't take some of that grain and keep it for seed, then next year there wouldn't be a harvest. Why? Because they won't have planted any of that seed. The same is with your time, your treasure, and your talents. You have to take some of it and invest it for the future. You can't just consume all of it. In a job, it looks like this. You earn X amount of dollars, and maybe you're tempted to spend all that money, but perhaps you should be saving some of it so that you can pay for some night classes and start to take some additional educational growth so that you can develop a new skill, so that you can, in that new skill, also apply for a new job that pays more money. See, what it took is you deferring some of what you have in order to invest in the future. All right, now this is a proverb. It's Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. And Solomon shares a principle that I think is really powerful. And if you get it, it'll change your life. It says this: the generous man will be prosperous. Okay, the generous man, generous meaning giving away, will be prosperous, receive lots. Those are contradiction in terms. And he who waters will himself be watered. Okay, so somebody who pours out will himself receive. Here's the principle. In the very areas that you have need, that is the area you should be intentionally sowing and giving. So if you are short on funds, this is the example we're using, you need to take some of those funds that you're already short on and choose to be generous with them. Maybe give to somebody else. Maybe take care of somebody else who's poor. The Lord will do something in your psyche. The Lord will shift something on your inside. He will shift your mindset from being somebody who's impoverished and always in need to somebody who has bounty. And that's the mindset that's able to invest. Something's going to go on in your heart. But it's also true in the natural circumstances. Like I said before, you have to take some of what you earn and invest it for the future. Otherwise, there is no future. I heard somebody say once that they were waiting for their ship to come in. It's a beautiful metaphor. But can I tell you that if you're waiting for your ship to come in, but you never sent one out, you're waiting in vain. There's no ship coming. The only way that a better future is possible is if you take what you have right now and you begin to sow it towards the future. You got to be intentional about it. And so what that looks like is making sacrificial choices right now to invest for the future. This is the pattern for breakthrough. You take some of what comes in, and instead of consuming all of it, you take it and you look at the future and decide what kind of person you want to be when you grow up, what kind of skills are going to pay more, what kind of job would be better. Then you need to discover what's needed for you to step into that career. And you're going to have to take the little piece that you have to invest and begin to utilize it. It might be time. Listen, it may be that you need to take some time every day to be learning some new skills. So instead of resting, instead of sleeping, instead of watching television, you should take that time right now and be learning a new skill so that you can invest in the future. Again, time, talent, treasure. You take these things that are worth something to the world. You have something to offer, but you have to grow them in their capacity, grow them in their skills. If you want to earn a greater living, it's going to require you becoming better at something, more efficient at something, more productive. And that is the way of the world. And so, yes, there is divine provision where God just supernaturally provides for you. However, God has given you the energy that you have. He gives you breath each day, and he gives you opportunity to work. And that's a blessing from God, that you would be able to labor as unto him, so worship in your labor, and that you would be able to earn a living. How much you make in your living lifetime, how much you are earning on a monthly basis, that often is actually determined by you. I know that's a hard word. I know no one likes to hear it, but the reality is that your circumstances are not keeping you in poverty. Your choices are. So these are days where if you will take seed and begin to invest it in the future, that there is a brand new possibility on the horizon. It's one season away. Harvest is coming. Take some of it, store it, save it, and then invest it for the next season, and you'll watch as God opens up a new future. Now, time out, because there is one aspect that you need to trust the Lord in, because sometimes injustice comes and sweeps away those things that people have worked so hard for. In that case, in injustice, you must trust the Lord. Bring it before his throne of justice and let Jesus deal with it. The Lord will defend you, especially when there is injustices. The Lord will be your defender. So don't try to take it on yourself. Don't try to defend yourself. Let the Lord deal with injustice. But as for you, invest wisely with the seed and the time and the treasure and talents that you have. Take it. Delay your gratification. Don't consume it now. Sow it into the future so that there will be a great harvest coming. All right, that's your word of wisdom for the day. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.